Why is this not going? Evening, everybody. Welcome to Sports Gladiators here on the Basement Show with Mr. Knast. I am Mr. Knast. Joining us tonight is
the champ.
Okay, I wasn't going to go with that just yet. We have a long season to go. He's in real form from last night, but
still riding the high, man.
I don't blame you. I mean, last night was a lot of fun, so thank you to everybody who tuned in, joined the studio, joined in chat. We had a lot of new people on YouTube and asking us fantasy football advice, which was freaking awesome. We had a very successful draft. We had 10 teams draft, 15 rounds. What, about an hour and 35 minutes?
Yep.
So I mean, that was pretty cool. And then I stayed up all night working on different intros and stuff. So if you missed the beginning of the show, afterwards, make sure you go back and rewatch it.
That was very cool.
Like I said, going for a drive.
Good work.
So and then we get the red carpet rolled out for us. I like that.
Yeah, how about that?
I mean, the creative mind was spinning last night.
Nice.
So I mean, but we have a full slate to talk about tonight. We have a red hot Phillies team. We have the Philadelphia Eagles making final cuts, NFL making final cuts, and then we're going to spend some time tonight talking about a recap of the fantasy draft we did last night because Yahoo gave out grades. So if you're joining us and you're part of the fantasy football league, if you haven't read your grade yet, stay tuned for that because it's going to be a lot of fun. But I say we start with the Phillies for once.
Oh, yeah.
And this team cool off, or do we want it to keep getting hotter and hotter?
Well, they set a franchise record in August for home runs.
Unbelievable.
With 48, and they had at least one tonight, if not two.
It's just mind-blowing. I mean, Trey Turner had two tonight.
Yeah. Trey is 2 for 2. Harper looks like he had a homer again. Talk about hot.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's hot in my house because my AC doesn't work, but this team's on fire. They just demolished the hell out of the St. Louis Cardinals over the weekend.
Yeah, they sure did. And I mean, the Angels, the Angels are got hot for a little bit after the trade deadline, but then when Ohtani didn't leave, all of a sudden they cooled back off again in a big way.
Yeah,
and Trout went back on the IL. He came off too soon, and he tried to help out during the run up to the playoffs, and he just couldn't do it.
Yeah, and then Otani had the same thing I think Brock Purdy had, which is the UCL tear in his elbow.
Yep.
So he's not
So
pitching for the rest of the season.
they shut him down for pitching for the rest of the year.
I mean, he's still worth
He
watching that plate, though.
Yeah, he was originally supposed to pitch tomorrow night.
Yeah, I mean, I still think it's gonna be crazy over here, regardless, because he's still playing.
Yeah,
So
hasn't done anything tonight yet, but it's a close game. So
I didn't even see what the score was. I came home.
5-4 right now.
Wow. Okay. So I mean, yeah,
middle of the eighth, 5-4 Phillies.
Okay. So getting down to the nitty gritty, I'm curious to know who the Angels have batting in the ninth, though.
The Angels have 11 hits tonight to the Phillies 5.
Wow.
So they got 5 runs on 5 hits for the Phillies.
Interesting. Evening, Curtis. Thanks for popping in tonight. Nice to see you. Happy Monday. So 5 runs on 5 hits. That must be 5 solo home runs.
No, it looks like it was a 3-run homer for Harper and 2 RBIs for Turner. So it could have been a 2-run homer for him.
Let's see. I can blow up ESPN real quick.
Turner has Harper has 2 RBIs and Turner has 3.
Okay. Let me see if I can pull up this box score really quick. Shuffle some screens around.
But Jake Cave had a hit.
Hey, Mr. Jake Cave in the lineup again for Mr. Ron.
Well, he was in and now he's out for a defensive replacement. They brought in Rojas to pinch hit, and then Rojas went into center and Marsh slid over to left.
Now, what's your honest feeling about that? Like, you're playing the whole entire game, your team's winning, you're hot at the plate, but all of a sudden, come the bottom 8th, top of 9th, they take you out for a defensive replacement. How do you feel about that?
It's what's best for the team. I mean, if Rojas and Marsh are left and center, there's not much that's going to drop, honestly.
Okay.
I mean, they're just that fast. So I'm perfectly fine with it.
It's just weird though. Like you see someone like 2 for 2, 3 for 3 at the plate, but then they don't get to finish the game.
Well, you remember a guy named Greg Luzinski?
Yeah.
Greg Luzinski very often around the 6th, 7th inning, came out for Bake McBride. Or no, at the time, no, McBride was playing right. Jerry Martin was actually the outfielder that would go in as a defensive replacement for Luzinski.
Okay. I mean, yeah, Luzinski had a good pop too, so I get what you're saying. I get it. Maybe I'm just overreacting.
Nah, I mean, that's understandable because, if it's a tight game, you want to put your best defenders out in the field.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Hey, Phillies just got another hit. Who's ever batting before JT's on second?
That would be Alec Bohm.
He must have a double to lead off the bottom of the 8th.
Nice.
There you go. But the scoring recap, you had Turner with the solo shot in the bottom of the 1st, Piper with a 2-run shot in the 4th, and then Trey Turner with a 2-run shot in the 5th.
Nice.
So yes, all the runs have been on home runs today. Typical Phillies, but that's okay.
Yeah.
And Moniak had an RBI single. Okay, I mean, I wonder what kind of reception he got back.
He got his ring tonight. He got his World Series ring tonight.
Oh, nice. I thought Spy was rocking and late there. Wait, the National League Championship. I was like, wait, World Series, they didn't win that. But the National League Championship. Got it. Because Tajon Walker started tonight. 5 2/3, 8 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. I mean, he's in line for the win, but 8 hits and 5 and 2/3 is a lot.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I know we were talking a couple weeks ago about the playoff rotation if they make it that far, and um, I mean, 8.5, 5 and 2/3 and 8 hits. That's kind of. I could see him, like I would agree with what you were saying a couple weeks ago, with him coming out of the pen.
Yeah.
I don't know if you would say as a long reliever or a short reliever. With someone
Well,
like
no,
Walker.
Walker, you can't. I don't think you can use Walker out of the pen, though. I don't know. Maybe you could. Maybe in in like a game 3 kind of deal. But I mean, I think Lorenzen and Ranger are much better equipped because they pitched out of the pen before.
So you keep a Walker and you're starting 3 then.
Yes, I'm probably going. Yeah, I probably got Walker 3. If Ranger's not 3, then Walker's 3, and Lorenzen and Ranger out of the pen, and Sanchez you could plug in a long, in a long relief kind of situation.
That makes sense. I mean, after this weekend, they're playing really good shape with the wild card. Yeah, 3.5 games up. They're 3 games above the Cubs. So.
Yep, heading in the right direction. And now it's 6-4.
Okay, well, racking them up. So JT must have RBI. Let's see.
Marsh.
Okay, let's see you be Marsh. I like that. I can deal with that.
Yep.
RBI single. Okay. Yep, Marsh single to the right. Very good. That caught it on the head, sir. But no, this weekend, I mean, they just lit St. Louis up.
Yeah, they sure did. They
7-2, 12-1, and 3-0.
The bats stayed alive. And luckily stayed alive again tonight. So that's a good sign.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? 5-1 in the last 6, not counting tonight.
Yeah.
That's the type of momentum you want to build going in towards September. I mean,
yeah. You gotta just keep the foot on the pedal because you got a little bit of a tougher schedule coming up.
True.
There's
Miz, evening, sir.
Hey, Miz. I mean, you still got some important games against the Braves. You got the Mets, who always seem to give us problems, even though we're a better team. But unfortunately, they have had our number a little bit. You got a San Diego series coming up soon. Another series in Milwaukee.
Yeah. Then you got 3 games. Yeah. So you have 2 more versus the Angels, a 3-game set in Milwaukee. Then you fly out to San Diego the very next day.
Mm-hmm.
You got 3 in San Diego. Then you come back home, have a day off in between, have a weekend series versus Miami. Then you have 4 versus Atlanta at home, the middle of the week. Actually, have a double header on 9/11.
Right.
And then you have a day off. You go to St. Louis for 3 more. And then you fly to Atlanta for a 3-game series Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Then you come back home for a 4-game series versus the Mets. They really don't have any more days off the rest of the season except for 1 day.
Wow.
I would say besides for 2 days of travel,
Yeah.
in between games, though, they only have 1 day off. That is brutal.
That is brutal.
Padres eliminated from the playoffs. I love it.
Nice.
There you go. Spend all the money you want then.
Check them off the list.
Okay, do I have my list? Nope. I have to start making a list. I mean, if it wasn't for Atlanta in our division, hey, we'd be doing pretty all right. But holy
Yep.
shit.
Angels have 3, 4, and 5 coming up. Meat of the order.
All right, well, hopefully Kimball can get another run or two support and come and bail it down.
Yep.
He picked
That's
up the
who's.
save yesterday, so he has 20 on the U now.
Yep.
So, but yeah, Atlanta 84 and 45.
Yep. Yeah, they've had a heck of a year.
I mean, they got the NL like with a 4-game lead over the Dodgers for the best record.
Yeah. So you want to hear my Freddie Freeman impersonation? Son of a bitch.
Can you do that one more time for me? That was actually kind of good.
Yeah.
Son of a biscuit. But, I mean, the good news is, from where we were at the All-Star break to now, the Phillies
Yeah.
playoff percentage is now at a 93.9.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's true, Miz. That's exactly what it is. If we hadn't through the course of the season lost a bunch of games to teams that we shouldn't have let beat us, the gap would be a lot smaller, and we wouldn't just be saying, "Yeah, oh well."
Yeah, always that's true.
Top wild card it is.
Yeah.
The team ahead of us is 39 games over 500.
Yeah. Evening, Chris. Nice to see you. Thanks for popping in tonight.
Hey, Chris.
I talked to Chris a little bit today. I saw him at Wegmans. I worked with Chris for a while at Canada Dry, so he's still with that company, but we talk every day. He wasn't too happy with his draft last night. So.
No.
But, I mean, just looking at these standings as a whole, the one that's going to be one of those last day coming down to the end of things, the AL West has gotten so tight.
Yeah.
You got the Seattle Mariners at 74-56, Rangers at 73-57, and then the Astros at 74-58. So you have 3 teams, one game apart.
I hope the Astros are out. I hate the Astros.
Man, I don't have one down here. I was gonna say, let me get my.
I'll just go bang on my trash can.
Does that count?
Somebody was doing that at the draft last night.
Yeah, I think it was Mike getting mad at it. So
yeah, I just thought it was somebody that was happy with their draft.
Well, according to Mike, he had the best draft, and everybody else had the worst draft.
Well, yeah.
But like I said, we'll save that talk. I'm gonna build you up, mean machine. I just coughed up my own words.
Yeah.
But the one I'm liking to see is Baltimore is still the top team in the whole entire American League.
What's their lead in the division in the East?
2 games.
2 games over
Tampa Bay.
Yep. Yeah.
The rest of the AL East is kind of tapered off.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'd like to see Baltimore get it. Yeah, win the division. That would be a cool story.
Yeah. Then you got Tampa Bay behind them for 2 games, but then Toronto is 10.5 back. So
yeah,
Braves still got to go on a cold streak, right?
Well, it's hard to say a team that's 39 games over 500 is going to hit a cold streak, and even if they did, I don't think it would make a big difference at this point.
Sure,
you're not going to make up 20 games.
Bring in the Phillies for the playoff.
They would have to go over for the rest of the season.
I say bring them in the Phillies. Yeah, maybe in the playoffs, eh? West knows.
Well, that's fine. They can. Everybody's 0-0 when the playoffs start.
Yeah.
Just got to get in. Anything can happen. Red October.
Yeah. Not kidding about that. So I'm looking at these standings real quick, okay?
Yep.
You have Baltimore 1, Tampa Bay 2, Seattle 3, Texas, Houston, Toronto, Boston, Minnesota. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what's fascinating about that?
What's that?
Minnesota is leading the AL Central, and they got the sixth best record in their their league.
Yeah.
That's how bad the AL Central is. Wow.
Yeah, the
Oh,
Central pretty rough.
yeah. Phillies win. I guess we have a final score 6-4.
6-4.
Yeah, that's what Chris says in chat.
Yep. There you go.
So Kimball must have came in on 1-2-3.
Took care of business against the meat of the order.
I love it. I mean, that's what you want. That's exactly what you want.
Yeah.
You didn't have any strikeouts or no walks, though. They were all roundouts or flyouts.
Okay.
Hey, 1-2-3. I'll take it.
Yep. Count it.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
All of a sudden, I got a cold breeze.
Yeah, I felt that chill myself.
I can do one or two things with this comment.
Yeah.
Delete it or roast it.
No. That's not nice. Everybody can have their team.
Okay. Hi, Amber. Evening.
Hi, Amber.
You. Hey, you guys. See, I'll give her a pass. She does that every time. I'll give her a pass.
Yeah, okay. You know, throw him a Goonies bone and he's good. Yep.
Just don't do that at my job, because if you do that stuff at Wegmans when you see you might get a banana thrown at you. Just so you know. Amber sometimes stops and sees me at work, so.
Oh, okay.
Buying produce. What was that? You want the watermelon? Okay, cute catch. Just saying.
Nice.
It's all good and fun. I have fun at work sometimes. But yeah, I mean, I think I just had it up. Who is it for tomorrow? Hold on. Just had this. There you go. So tomorrow night you have Tyler Anderson versus Michael Lorenzen.
Okay.
And then Wednesday.
Wednesday is an afternoon game.
Yeah, so you got Sanchez pitching.
That's a 1:00 game.
Yes. Dude, the last two melons were bad. Hey, I don't stock produce. You can't yell at me for that. I'm just a grocery cook. And let's see, who else do they play? Then Friday they would have Zach Wheeler going. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sanchez has been good. He's just not getting the run support, I think.
Just glad he's not the dirty Sanchez.
Okay. You know, you've been talking to Alan a little bit too much. Am I going to have to separate you two? Just stopping in and say, hi, little man and I might be shopping in this week to say, all right, I'm doing every day until Friday. So you can't miss me. I'm the guy who's been running around with his head cut off every week.
Yeah. Well, you're on a streak of closings, right?
7 straight. And then if you don't count the weekend, I have all Labor Day weekend. Ace comes home on Friday. Then I go back Tuesday night. I close Tuesday night. Off Wednesday for my other fantasy draft. And then I close again Thursday.
Wow.
What's better, dirty Sanchez or a good Sanchez?
I like the good one.
I would hope the good one's better. I would hope. I got my fingers crossed on that one.
Yeah.
No, I'm scared. A dirty Sanchez or a good Sanchez? I don't know if I want to look that up or just leave it alone. I mean, you might as well just work so you don't need to. Wow. Evening, Joe. Nice to see you in chat, too. He said, I mean, you might as well just work so you don't need to watch your team get smacked.
Ooh. There you go. I like it.
Well, that's 2 people off my list. Where's my
we're not going to have any viewers left if you keep on striking down everybody that.
No, I'm not striking them down. I'm just waiting to don't bring on the show list.
Oh, okay.
They can chat all they want, but that's all peanuts in the peanut gallery. I just read comments.
Nice.
What's up with Trout? Is he back? I think you said he rushed back, so he's out a little bit longer, right?
Yeah, he was back for a little bit because it looked like they had a chance to make the playoffs, and then he re-aggravated his injury. So he's back out again, back on the IL. He's been spending some time down in Vineland with Tiger. They were there one day last week. The golf course they're building together.
Oh boy.
Mike Trout and Tiger Woods.
Yeah, get ready to play $300 golf in South Jersey.
Well, I'm sure there'll be a pro stop there. It's that level course.
Oh boy. Just what we need. And Joe, you can laugh all you want to. I mean, good smack talk is good smack talk. I will say that.
Yeah, it is.
All right. Let's see if I can pop this list over. I got 2 monitors going. Seeing if there's any other thing we want to touch on baseball. If not, we can jump into football. You bet.
Okay.
Because tomorrow's a big day in the NFL.
Yeah, it is.
Cut down day. One of my favorite days of the year. Just trying.
You just like to celebrate people's misery? Is that what it is?
Well, because you never know who's going to get cut. You could be an 8-9 year veteran on a team, but they might be bringing somebody in to replace you. So now all of a sudden, you got to look to start over.
Colt McCoy.
It's Jonathan Taylor Day. That's tomorrow, Tuesday. Yeah, Joe does have a point. Yeah, Colt McCoy's out in Arizona. I saw that name today. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Everyone's thinking they're going to tank and go for Caleb Williams next year from USC. Let's see if I can find a better list. Here we go. Yep, Colt McCoy from Arizona.
PJ Walker from the Bears.
Yeah, Joe wasn't too happy about that yesterday. Wow, K. Joyce in Cleveland got cut. He was just a 4th round pick last year.
Wow.
Pat O'Donnell, he's a veteran veteran. There you go. I know you said to keep an eye out for hunters.
Yeah, but there's a punter got cut in where was it? There was one Arizona, Matt Hawk.
That sounds familiar. He's from USC. Oh, LSU, sorry. Not LSU.
Pat O'Donnell got cut from the Packers. He's a punter.
He's an
interesting name, but he didn't rank out much higher than Sipas last year. In Pro Football Focus, Sipas was like 31, and I think that O'Donnell was like 28.
Yeah.
Kenyon Drake.
Yeah.
James Washington, wide receiver.
Wow, Trace Mix. Well, I'm not even going to say it because I know what you say. Trace McSorley from the Patriots. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
You know what school he went to. I'll leave it at that.
I do indeed know what school he went to. Thank you. Little too early in the night for the N-word.
The N-word?
Or the P-word, I'm sorry.
The Giants made some interesting ones. James Robinson, Jaden Mickens. Will Cole Beasley make the team? That is a good question.
I don't know. That could go either way. I don't know who the other receivers are in their camp.
And then the Eagles released Tyree Jackson quarterback turned tight end. I saw that one coming. And then Dan Arnold. That's a surprise because they just brought him in late last year on the futures contract to work him out. So it's not like really that big of a contract. But I
Yeah.
mean,
There's a somewhat uh Ty Zetner
yeah, they cut
is
him last week.
we cut him. I'm still scanning for punters
Okay.
because we need one.
Yeah.
Don't be shocked, but there is a possibility that the Eagles may cut Derek Barnett.
If they can't work out a trade, I know he had requested a trade.
I can't imagine that there's anybody that's really going to offer anything of value. I mean, the best case scenario would
A
be
five.
like a 7.
Hey, better than nothing though. That's because he requested a trade.
That's if somebody. Well, he requested a trade because he knows he's not going to start,
Yeah. Well, he's like third
and
string right now.
he's in the back of the rotation, so he wants to go somewhere where he's going to see some significant snaps. It's not going to be in Philly, especially when he keeps on taking all those bonehead penalties.
And I think that's his biggest downfall. He was drafted out of Tennessee because people thought he had the next Reggie White back.
Yeah,
And all he came in and did his rookie year was get, 6 personal foul calls.
cheap shot artist.
I mean,
He had 6.5 sacks last year, but some of that's a product of other people getting more attention. They were opportunistic sacks.
true. This is probably one I was just looking at. This is probably one you just had with CBS Sports. Yeah, not many punters though. I mean,
No,
can we call Sean Landeta out of retirement? Was he
I wish.
Jeff Beagles?
Jeff Eagles. Wow,
No,
that's a name.
he was. I was thinking Roger was Zorak, but he was a kicker.
Give me Reggie Roby back in the day for Tampa.
No, who was the one I'm thinking of? Oh God, I'm drawing a blank. Oh God, Brian Moorman.
Okay.
He was good. I was thinking Tony Franklin, but he was another kicker.
Yeah. Tony the Toe.
Yep.
Kicking barefoot in December in Philadelphia. And kicking
Now,
50-yarders like they were nothing.
true. Now here's an interesting name for you, for punter. But go ahead, I'll let you finish.
Go ahead.
Matt Ariza.
Okay.
He was that kid that was drafted out of San Diego State University, 5th round pick by the Bills, falsely accused of raping somebody, acquitted of all charges. Never was he basically wasn't in the house when it happened. So Buffalo still cut him, thinking that there was going to be criminal reactions to it, but nothing came about it. Would you maybe bring him in?
I mean, it's not like it's not something that Lurie hasn't done before. I mean, they basically signed Michael Vick out of prison.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it would be, but there's got to be a reason why he never, after he was cleared, that he didn't immediately come back in the league. So either he didn't have the desire or he just got so out of shape that he didn't think he could get back.
Maybe.
But I wouldn't have any problem having him.
Yeah, because it's not like he was found guilty and he was
he was totally exonerated.
So just the fact that he's still, I haven't heard him been brought in for any workouts. It's just mind blowing because this kid was awesome at college.
Yeah,
So I
he
mean
was.
that's just like we're talking punters. And I'm just thinking like this kid's what 23 years old. So yeah, that like I said, I'm just throwing out a name. So okay, so Chris says so. So let's talk serious. How do I think these new coordinators are going to do with the Eagles, both offense and defense? I think that is the biggest question going into the season. I can totally see this team coming out of the gate slow with not playing in the preseason. I can see a bunch of penalties in game one. What are your thoughts?
I mean, it's possible that you see some, pre-snap penalties and stuff like that, because I think that generally speaking around the league, the first couple weeks look a little sloppy for that very reason. They cut it down to 3 preseason games, but they did have the joint practices, which technically the starters are playing in those, as opposed to playing in the actual preseason games that you and I see. But it's not like Jalen Hurts has been sitting on the sidelines for 4 weeks. I
Yeah,
mean, he's played actual, you know, scrimmage type football, even though it was non-contact for the quarterbacks. You know, um, it's not like they haven't gotten any work with their teams, but it's not the same. I will give you that. As far as the coordinators go, Brian Johnson was there last year. I mean, really didn't change the offensive system. I mean, they're still running um, Steichen's offense or Nick's offense, really.
yeah,
You know, they really didn't change a lot. They may have put a few wrinkles in here and there, but there's less turmoil on the offensive side than the defensive side. Now, on the defensive side, you know, um, Sean Desai has come out of a couple successful systems. He has got a ton of talent to work with. So on the defensive side of the ball, other than passing schemes, I mean, getting after the quarterback is getting after the quarterback. And we've got on paper the amount of talent that can wreak some havoc in in scheme. Just from the push up front, you have more athletic linebackers now, in my opinion.
yeah.
I mean, I think that the secondary is pretty decent. Might be a little short of depth at safety. Could probably use another linebacker just for in the rotation. But for the most part, yeah, I don't know if they're going to do a lot more blitzing, though. That's the thing. I mean, honestly, I mean, the Giants blitzed. When we played the Giants blitzed like 30 times in that game, in that second game. So, I mean, you can't just blitz on every play. And I know that all of us Eagles fans want to, reminisce back to the Jim Johnson days, where it was, pin your ears back and just kill somebody, where they did a lot of blitzing under Buddy Ryan's watch. But I mean, if they're working smart and the secondary is playing well, then I think that there will be times when blitzing is definitely appropriate, but it just doesn't look the same as it did back in the Jim Johnson era. That's all I'm saying.
True. But what people forget, yeah, Sean Desai is a new coach. I 100% agree with that. Might take some time to get acclimated with things. But the Eagles have a secret weapon on defense this year. As much as people hate him, I think this man's going to do wonders for us. Okay?
Okay.
and that man's Matt Patricia.
Mm.
He's helping decide. He's not
Mm-hmm.
an actual defensive coach. He's an assistant, but just like don't get me wrong, he's always had weird defenses up New England when he was the coach in Detroit, but he's a pretty damn good coach.
I mean, he might help more in the organizational piece, like the administration piece. I think actual game day calls. I don't think he's going to be involved, but I think if you talk about a guy who can, work with guys and teach them, I think that he's probably been a valuable asset.
So, I mean, I'm not saying he's going to run the defense. I'm not saying. I'm just
Yeah.
saying like him and Sean Desai can like talk during the week and come up with a formula game plan. Like it'll be Desai calling the plays, but you have an extra voice in your head now with someone like Matt Patricia in your organization too. That's all I'm saying. I think that Matt Patricia is going to do more behind the scenes that might actually help Desai in the long run. Because they also have Marcus Brady as a senior offensive assistant. So he could help Brian Johnson. That's what's nice about bringing these senior defensive assistants, senior offensive assistant coaches that have that experience. They can help mentor these young coaches to make them that much better. That's what I'm saying.
I mean,
So,
Desai is not necessarily a new coach. I mean, he's been an associate head coach at Seattle. I mean, he was a defensive assistant there. He was a defensive coordinator for the Bears.
yep.
He was assistant director of football operations at the University of Miami in 2011.
Go ahead. I'll give you one tonight. Go ahead. And just so people know, Trace McCurry went to Penn State. Oh.
Ah.
No, but I'm reading this now.
We are
right.
5-5.
But I'm reading this now. You're right. Desai aided a defensive staff that helped Seattle earn the playoff spot last year. Overall, Seattle ranked fourth in the NFL in forced fumbles, 15. They were seventh in sacks with 45, eighth in takeaways, and 10th in opponent completion percentage.
Yep.
That's pretty damn good.
So I mean, it's not like he's some kid with no experience. He's definitely shown that he can do the job. It's just a matter of the working with the talent that he has, and he's got a lot of talent to work with. So I'm looking for good things out of him.
Yeah. As the head of the Bears defense, Desai oversaw a group that led the league in sacks per pass attempt, 10.3%.
Yep.
So I mean, he can bring in the pressure when he needs to.
Yep.
And he was the coach when Robert Quinn had a career high in franchise record, 18.5 sacks. So I mean, I'm curious to see. I don't think they might struggle a little bit week one, but Sirianni has been really hard on these guys this summer, more so than we have seen. So I think he's been establishing his way. And if you don't like it, you can go run a couple laps. So I think it's going to be a very disciplined team.
Fletcher Cox dropped 15 pounds
Jesus.
in the off season and bulked up. He's in the best shape he's been in years. Jalen Carter I heard an interview with Darius Slay the other day, and he said that kid is a beast.
What?
Said he is going to be a major force in that line.
Good. That's what you're going to need because this is Fletcher's last year. Love the man to death, but he's done.
Yeah, he's definitely done after this year. I mean, there's no doubt. And then the Young Bucks take over. Then the Philly Dogs are running wild.
Yeah, because then you have Jordan Davis 6'6", 336, and Jalen
Mm-hmm.
Carter 6'3", 314. That's a lot
Yep,
of beef. That's
that is. It is indeed.
a lot of, like Meg said, they're like they say in Twister, God, Meg, you got a lot of beef. Good punch for that one.
Yep.
But not even so much that, they got more, they got depth too. Because, yeah, we're talking about Fletcher Cox, Jordan Davis, and Jalen Carter. Don't forget Milton Williams. He's no
Milton
slouch
Williams.
neither.
Yeah. Don't forget Hassan Reddick either.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, who's right now he's dealing with a broken thumb, but he's planning on playing in week 1.
yeah. Then you still got Josh Sweat.
You got Josh Sweat. And as of right now, you still have Barnett.
Yep.
Although I don't think he's going to be here.
I don't neither. Then you still got Brandon Graham, who's
Yeah.
on one side. You got the guy that you got from New Orleans, Kavion Canavia Street, who's a good pass
Yeah.
rusher.
Yep.
I mean, there's so much depth on this team.
Yeah. Yeah, there is. They've built a really, really good roster, especially on the defensive side of the ball.
And then the back part of that defense, I think cornerback, they're 6 deep too.
Yeah.
Because you got Soleil, you got Bradbury on the outside,
Right.
Maddox is your nickel.
Right.
Right now, your dime's a little open in the air, but then backing up Soleil and Bradbury, you're going to have Josh Joby
Mm-hmm.
and Kellen Ringo,
Mm-hmm.
and they really like Eli Riggs, the other kid from Alabama.
Yeah.
So I
Then you
think
got a couple of safeties out there. You got Blankenship and shit, I always do this.
Edmonds.
Edmonds, yeah.
Then you got young
But
Sidney
you also
Brown
got
backing
Sidney
him up.
Brown back there too,
Yep. And
who
Kayvon Wallace
who's
had a
had
good preseason.
who probably might have had the best camp out of anybody other than Jalen Hurts.
Yeah. And
So
right, you still got Justin Evans too, another one you got from New Orleans.
if I'm Mac Jones, I'm not sleeping well for the next few nights
No.
because they're coming. They're coming for you, boy.
My biggest thing is, you know, your 4 main wide receivers, okay? AJ, Devontae, Adamas, and then Quetz. Who's your
Mhm.
fifth? That's my biggest question.
Not Greg Ward. As much as I'd love for him to make the team, I don't think it's happening.
Because people keep telling me Cubby, and I don't want Cubby back on punt return.
No. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, he's late to camp, but could you maybe see someone like Freddie Swain being held on to for a little bit?
I'll find out tomorrow at 4:00.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. Like I said, it's a bad day for most people, but for me, like, you get to see who's on your roster.
I mean, I'll be shocked, but I won't necessarily be surprised if Greg Ward sneaks back on this roster.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's a little long in the tooth, but when they needed a catch, he was there and he made the catch.
True.
I mean, sometimes you don't feel comfortable getting rid of a guy like that, you know?
Yeah.
You've got a known and you've got an unknown. Which way you want to go when you're talking about a fifth receiver? How many times you're going to call on him in a game?
True.
You're only going to get 1 or 2 shots, brother. You better make them count.
Mm-hmm. And then running backs is obviously who that is as of now.
Yeah.
Because they put Trey Sermon on the trade block.
Yeah.
Let's see what they can get for him.
But I mean, a lot of teams aren't going to trade for these players because they're going to be, if they get cut, they can sign their own deals.
True. I mean, I think they hold on to at least Kennedy Brooks or something on the practice squad, but if they can get something for Trey Sherman, they might take that offer too. Because our quarterbacks, as of now, are going to be Swift, Gainwell, Penny, and Boston Scott. Unless you don't think Scott makes the team. And they keep something else somewhere else.
He hasn't really shown out much in camp. I mean, he hasn't. His name doesn't get mentioned a lot. Let me put it that way. Of all the running backs, I think I probably heard his name less than anybody else's.
Okay.
And I mean, Trey Sermon. The thing is, you can make a case for Trey Sermon because he was playing on special teams and he was gunning, and he was in the play at just about every time. So I mean, we're down 2 special teamers. With 2 guys getting lost for the season. In Bradley and McPherson. So there is a hole in special teams. It's an opportunity to maybe keep him, even though he is a running back, but at least keep him for his special team skills.
Yeah.
Because special teams was already a question mark going in before they lost McPherson and Bradley.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's one thing that you might look for on the waiver wire as well tomorrow is Howie plucking a couple special teamers, from a couple teams.
That's possible. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see the whole league as a whole.
Yeah.
Because these kids they're younger and they're getting better.
So where do you think Taylor goes?
If he doesn't come to Philly, I would see Miami making a very strong push.
Well, Miami's one of the teams that's in. But there's another team in the weeds, I think.
Well, Chicago said they're out today.
Yeah.
But
I really thought that Chicago was going to be in.
Who's the third team in the weeds?
Well, I considered Chicago in the weeds because almost everybody was saying Miami.
Yeah. Let's see if they have any more on them. Hold on. Dolphins still involved. I'm just saying if there's any other things in the last minute with the Jonathan Taylor trade doesn't appear to be close for the Colts. That's coming from ESPN. So it may be one of those like 3:30 in the afternoon type things that happen right before that deadline.
Very well could be. There's going to be a lot of activity around that 4:00 hour tomorrow.
Yeah, there was already a couple trades last night and this morning.
Yeah.
Teams like swapping players and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think
some teams get an early jump on making their cuts because they want to give their guys an opportunity to latch on somewhere else.
Yeah.
And some teams will wait all the way to the deadline.
Yeah. You're right. Let's see. I was just saying there was a list. Trades by month. I don't know if that's yeah. Maybe. Well, you know about the Trey Lance trade.
Yeah.
Arizona got Josh Dobbs from Cleveland. That's probably why they let Colt McCoy go.
Yeah.
Offensive tackle Josh Jones went from Arizona to Houston. And then
it looks like Murray might miss the whole year. That's why.
Yeah, well, that's why I said a lot of people think they're going to tank and try to get Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
And then Isaiah Simmons to the Giants is actually really intriguing. I mean, him and Julia Peppers in that secondary for New York. I mean, who knows what happens up in New York after last year? You can only go up, but you might also go down. So who knows?
Yeah.
4 o'clock tomorrow. Next week on Sports Gladiators, we'll be able to do a whole rundown. So I mean, it should be fun. All right. Anything else that you want to talk about the NFL, or do you want to jump into the next segment?
Yeah, let's just jump into the next one.
All right. Do you want to start with the fantasy thing, or you want me to pull up a quick video real quick? Because I know you don't watch NASCAR, but did you
The
see
crash.
that crash on Saturday night? Was
I
scary.
did see that crash.
That was scary.
I saw the replay of the crash. I wasn't watching NASCAR.
That was scary. I want to see if I can find it.
Yeah, that was unbelievable. I mean, it's amazing the way that they've designed these cars.
I'll play it for those who didn't get to see. Hold on. Just load it up real quick. Just loading this up real quick for 1 brief second. Thanks. Yeah, here. So if you missed the race on Saturday night, just popping on to say hello. Hey, not really too knowledgeable about this stuff. Well, thanks for popping in, Shannon. Always good to see you in chat. Thanks for stopping by.
Hey, Shannon.
So, yeah, this crash was scary. Like, you see the one angle, like, the car doesn't even touch the ground for like 30 seconds. I mean, he did get out of the car under his own, but they did put him on a stretcher right away. But just that's crazy.
Wow. No, what's crazy is then you see him climbing out the window. That's what's crazy.
Yeah. Like, these are brand new cars, like only 2 years old, that are meant for more enhanced safety features. So to see a car flip that violently still.
Yeah, this is. Yeah.
Let's see if I can find the other video. So let's stop sharing for a minute. Let's see if I can find the other angle of it. So let me put this back up, see if I can find this. Okay. Here. There. Nope. It's all the same one. I know exactly what one you're talking about, though, with the infield camera of it.
Yeah. Yep.
But I was scared. I saw the replay of it. Hope he is okay. He apparently spent the night in the hospital for evaluation on Saturday night, but they released him early Sunday morning, and he was cleared. I mean, no broken bones. I don't think he got a concussion even.
Wow.
I just got like bell rung or something. But yeah, it's scary. And then that same exact race, another driver hit the exact same spot that actually killed Dale Earnhardt back in 2001. So they actually did like a side by side comparison. 2001, there were no safer barriers, so Earnhardt's car absorbed all that impact into the wall head first. Saturday night, the guy hit it, and you see the wall move back about 6 inches and bounce the car back. That's how far like the safety enhancements has come with NASCAR. Because it is dangerous. Some people don't think it's a sport, but these guys put their lives on the line every single time they get in that car.
Yeah, they do.
So more power to them.
Yep.
So, definitely scary.
Agreed there.
But that's all I really talk. That's all I wanted to mention about NASCAR. I didn't know if you had seen it or not.
Yeah, I actually did catch it on a replay. I had the same reaction though.
Yeah, I mean, I got the notification on my phone because I was outside. I was like, damn, I gotta look at this. Holy shit! Like that initial live reaction, like, damn.
Yeah.
So crazy. All right. So after 1 hour mark, I figured to finish out the show, we can have some fun. If anyone is in the chat store that was in our fantasy football draft last night, now's your time to trip a little bit, have some fun with us. Because, especially with this guy on the screen with me, I can't wait to hear what you have to say. Last night we did our fantasy football draft, and Mr. Mean Machine, as he calls himself nowadays, was one of the three people who had an A plus. You had Mean Machine with A plus, Vince at a state team A plus, Cheesin of Wisconsin A plus. I had a B plus. Doughboy, who is Michael Russo, had a B minus. Then we had Mr. Sam Simmons with a C minus. Ron's son Jason with a D plus. Team Miz with a D minus. My friend Mike with a D minus. And Chris was an F. But the most amazing part of this is the draft day projected records. And Mr. Mean Machine, I can just point down tonight, has a perfect projection of 15-0. Explain, sir.
I had a good draft. I mean, what else? I drafted out of the second spot. Not necessarily the most ideal spot, but as the draft unfolded, I was able to get some of the guys that I was looking for, and had a couple of surprises drop to me that I didn't expect. So, I mean, overall, I just got lucky, honestly.
Let's see how lucky. Where's the draft? We got draft results. Here we go. So, round one, you took Jamar Chase. Great pick. I'll give you that.
Yep.
Okay, round two, you went back and took Cooper Kupp.
Who, when he was there at 19, I there's no way that I could not take him.
Okay.
That was the first shock of the draft, that he lasted to 19.
All right. Then you got Joe Burrow with your third round pick.
Yes, quarterbacks were starting to pop off the board, and I took the best available quarterback at that particular time.
All right. And you got Raheem Stevenson in the fourth round, which is really good value.
Yeah, and he does have Ezekiel Elliott now there on the team, but I still think that he's going to be the primary back, and he also catches the ball a lot out of the backfield, which is something that Zeke doesn't really do anymore.
Okay. Then you follow that up with Damian Pierce.
Right. Also, in a PPR league, he's a nice choice because, again, he catches balls out of the backfield, and he's compact, and he's good in the open field.
Fair enough. Okay. I love this pick. I love that you take Darren Waller. He's a New York Giant, yes, but I think he's going to be a top 5 tight end this year.
I agree. And that was an opportunity pick. When I was, looking, I wanted to go away from wide receiver at that point. I could have went with a second running back, but I felt like I could get value further down. And I saw him sitting there, and I was intrigued at his upside, being on the Giants, and how big of a part that I think he's going to play in the offense. So that's why I definitely leaned in his direction at that point.
No, I really like that pick. Like I said, we can't root for Washington, New York, or Dallas as a team, but when you're looking at fantasy football, like I said, Darren Waller should easily be a top 5 fantasy tight end, rather if Daniel Jones stays healthy or not.
Agreed.
That was and the Giants as a whole. I told my friend who I work with, because he's a big Giants fan, To
Mm-hmm.
get Darren Waller for a third-round pick was a steal.
It was. I agree. And
So,
it's the kind of volume, with the Giants not necessarily super strong on the offensive line. A lot of opportunities for Danny Dimes to dump off, and with a guy like Waller, he's got a nose for the ball.
sure.
So he's going to be the guy that'll come back for a ball when he knows his quarterback's in trouble.
Yeah, okay. I mean, that's just a great pick. I'm glad you went with that instead of Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, I'm not a Kyle Pitts fan.
All right, round 7, you took DJ Moore, who could have a stinky good year in Chicago.
Absolutely. He's the number 1 there.
Yeah.
And Justin Fields has any kind of a decent year, which I think he will, then that's why I wanted to make sure and grab him up, because he was available at that point in the 7th round.
Yeah. All right. Now, this is the one I need you to explain. Who is Zach Charbonnet?
And Zach Charbonnet.
Okay, Charbonnet, sorry.
It was a 2nd-round pick for the Seattle Seahawks. He is going to be in a backfield committee with Kenneth Williams. Kenneth Williams was a rookie last year. He showed some good promise. However, Charbonnet is a fast, powerful runner who's got really good instincts, who sees the field well, and is definitely has some plus side advantages over Kenneth Williams, because he can also catch the ball. He's got good hands coming out of the backfield. So I think that although he may start on the depth chart as number 2, I think by mid-season he's probably going to be the lead back. And I think that he's going to have a very productive year. I grabbed him up in all 3 of my leagues.
Right. And Joe's
actually, two of the 3, because somebody stole him from me.
Gotcha. And Joe's back in chat, corrected you. Kenneth Walker.
What did I say?
You
William?
said Kenneth Williams.
There's so many damn Williamses anymore. I've got Williams on the brain. I know who I meant. Thank you for correcting me, though.
Then he's saying better than Rodgers and Purdy. We'll talk about that one in a minute. So your next pick after your rookie, you went with Denver's defense. I'll give you that. I think they have a bounce back year.
Yeah, and I honestly, in a PPR league, the defense is
not
really a super big factor unless you have one of the top 2 or 3. So as long as you get some that has some potential for some interceptions and stuff, then you're in pretty good shape there.
All right. Harrison Buckner as your kicker. I give that one an A. Love that pick.
Yeah, he gets, he's going to get a lot of extra points, obviously, because they score a lot of touchdowns. And he's got a pretty strong leg and is pretty accurate from 50 out, although it's not often that they're kicking from 50 out because of the power of their offense.
Yeah. And you did the smart thing, unlike a certain somebody, I won't say any names, who took a kicker in the 7th round. Man, it just got quiet around here. But, hey, Justin Tucker, I don't care, best kicker in the league.
He is. By far.
Another one of your picks I absolutely love is this Sky Moore pick.
Yeah.
The fact that you got him in the 11th round is nuts.
Yeah, it is. It actually is. And I think that he's got some real upside potential. He's pretty much the Tyreek Hill replacement speed-wise. I mean, he's the downfield threat. So I think that anytime that Mahomes is looking to air it out, I think that the beneficiary of a lot of those is going to be Sky Moore.
Yeah. And now, I know we don't do it, but if you have certain leagues that give you the return points, if you have that position player returning the kick,
Right.
that's going to be a seal in a lot of leagues too.
Yeah.
Because you see what Sky Moore did versus Philly in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
So then 12th round, you took Jared Goff. Again, had a pretty decent year last year.
Yep.
See if we can bounce back again this year.
Yeah, I like the way Detroit played down the stretch, and I needed a backup, so he was the best available at that point that I felt had a big upside.
Just the thing with Detroit, they have to keep biting those kneecaps. They can't have their kneecap bitten,
Bite
but
them
they need to
kneecaps,
bite
man.
they need to bite the kneecaps.
Gotta love that Dan Campbell.
Oh yeah, I mean, I can't wait to play some of his press conference on the show.
Yeah.
Round 13, AJ Dillon, who's a complimentary back with Aaron Jones, but does get a good beef around the red zone.
Right.
So I can see why you did that. Round 14, you took a shot. You said it yourself.
Yeah.
Brian Robinson. I mean, if he stays healthy, is a very powerful running back.
Right. And a guy that I don't, with the quality of the running backs that I have, I wasn't really looking for anybody who at that point of the draft, you're just looking to, to cover a bye week here or there, if you're pretty confident in your running backs you have.
And then to finish up the draft, this one, I'm not going to lie, kind of surprised me that you took a second defense.
Yeah.
I mean,
honestly, I felt pretty good in all the positions where I was at. I really didn't feel the need to get another receiver or anything like that, but I wanted to, at that point, I just kind of, I was kind of on the fence with Denver's defense. But again, as far as I'm concerned, the defense number is insignificant in the big scope in a PPR league. So that's why I just kind of burned the pick, but I burned the pick with the intention of, switching it out if I felt like Denver was heading in the wrong direction.
No, I have no problem with it. I mean, sometimes you see people in Yahoo leagues take those two defenses for that reason.
Yeah.
So interchangeable is always good. That way you don't have to go around and shuffle your team around to like pick up another defense and then possibly lose the one you had.
Yeah.
So
just play the matchups at that point.
And speaking of matchups, week 1, you were playing our friend Chris. And you projected 147 and 134. Granted, projections don't mean nothing.
Especially in week 1.
But looking across the board, though, besides for defense, which, like you said, is not really that important, and your flex, you guys both have 14. I mean, we'll see.
Well, there's a chance that Cooper Kupp could miss week 1 too. So
true. All right, so let me go back to the draft real quick. So, unlike Ron, as you see, the basement show is picking towards the bottom of the round. I mean, Tyreek Hill is there. I mean, the man's a yak machine.
Yep. That's a great pick at 9.
I mean, I couldn't pass that one up. Then I got a bunch of flack when I came back and took CeeDee Lamb.
Well, I mean, it's not that it wasn't a good pick. It's just the team he plays for.
Yeah. I mean, I look at it this way. PPR league, CeeDee Lamb easily gets 6-7 catches a game, sometimes more.
Yeah. I mean, from a pure scoring standpoint, it's definitely a strong pick at that point.
Yeah. Joe's still in chat with a puking emoji. Chris says I took a flyer on Fields. That I would agree with that statement, Chris.
Hey, Fields could have a decent year. He's got a number one receiver now, which he really, I don't know that his previous receivers had the talent level of a DJ Moore.
Yeah. Now, my third round pick, I would probably say is the one that surprised me the most, seeing that Derrick Henry was still on the board
Yeah.
in the third round. Granted,
Yep.
he's getting a little bit older, but Tennessee's quarterback situation is a complete mess.
And honestly, he is one of the last of a dying breed of the bell cow running back. Tennessee's offense is very much run oriented because they have a talent like Derrick Henry. So to me, in that position, that was a great pick.
Yeah, I couldn't pass that up. I mean,
Yeah.
sure, you could go Tony Pollard, and other people, but to get an actual number one starting running back in the third round, I'll take it.
Yep.
Especially when you don't know the future of Jonathan Taylor and Josh Jacobs might not be 100% week one, considering he sat out all summer.
That's true.
So, I mean, I was happy with that one. Round 4, yeah, I took another running back, as you see, with Travis Etienne. He has potential.
He does.
And at the time, I felt he was one of the better ones on the board that was available still.
Yep.
My opinion. But I think he gets, I would say, at least 8 rushing touchdowns this year. Plus, he can catch the ball out of the backfield.
Yes.
So that's the way I'm looking at that aspect.
Absolutely.
Okay. Then round 5, I took George Kittle, who is always top 3 tight end in the league, no matter what. No matter who your quarterback is.
He's more like around 6 right now, I think. He has traditionally been high, but they dropped off a little bit with the emergency of guys like T.J. Hawkinson and Waller and a couple other guys that have Mark Andrews.
Kelsey, Goddard's up there.
Yeah, so I mean they're all right up there.
I mean, I think Goddard went way early.
If you can get double digits out of your tight end, you're doing okay.
True. Round 6, I took a flyer. Is what I look at at Tyler Lockett. He's a flyer.
Yeah.
I was going to actually pick Justin Herbert with this pick, but my friend Vinny beat me to it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I said, why not just go with another flyer and someone like Tyler Lockett, who's a number 1 wide receiver for his team.
No, Lockett and Metcalf will be, 1A and 1B.
And then you got that rookie from Ohio State too.
Yeah, and Jigma, the rookie, who's definitely going to get some targets for sure.
Yeah. And then, like I said, I already touched on my 7th round pick. Everyone laughed at me when I took Justin Tucker. I don't care. The man's the best.
He is.
And he is known for nailing those long field goals.
Yep.
So, when I get more points with the kicker than some people get with a flex, don't want.
Exactly. No.
Then round 8, I finally decided to take a quarterback. So I figured, why not Geno Smith? He had one of the best years last year.
He sure did.
Okay, I'm lost. Have a good night, guys. Good night, Shannon.
Night, Shannon.
Thanks for popping in. But no, Geno Smith had over 30 touchdowns last year passing. He gets about 20 to 25 completions a game, which is a point per completion.
Yeah.
So that helps. And he can sometimes run the ball if he has to as well.
True.
So I thought that was a no-brainer.
Yep.
Cincinnati's my defense. Like you said, doesn't really matter defensive-wise in our league.
But they're a pretty decent defense, though.
Yeah.
They create some turnovers. They score some defensive touchdowns. That's all you can ask out of your defense.
True. And then this is where my team goes a little south. this is why I admit I was just at this point kind of looking at best available, maybe a sleeper.
Okay.
Because I was torn between James Conner, who I wound up taking, or Evan Ingram with this pick.
Okay.
Miz, great pick in round 10. So I took James Conner because of, again, Arizona's quarterback situation is a mess. So
Mm-hmm.
if Conner can stay healthy, I could see him getting a lot of touches down by the red zone to punch the ball in because he's a
Okay.
good red zone back.
That's good. Yeah, that's a good analysis there.
But like I said, I was also looking at Evan Ingram, who's playing this year on the franchise tag. He's
Yeah.
out to prove something, and he had a resurgence last
Yeah.
year in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
That's an awesome pick in round 10.
Yep. Agreed.
Uh, round 11, I took Buffalo's backup tight end, Dalton Kincaid, who's a rookie out of Utah,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of people are comparing him to Dallas Clark,
Yeah.
saying he could line up as a hybrid wide receiver, tight end, in the nickel flex position. And you know Josh Allen, he loves to spread the ball around.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I felt like this one could be a couple, like I said, red zone opportunity. I see a lot of upside with this kid, so much that Dawson Knox might want to watch his back.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's my scenario with that. Thinking again, red zone.
Mm-hmm.
Backup quarterback, there wasn't much on there that I really liked. Kirk Cousins is a turnover machine. We all know he can't play primetime games, but 1 o'clock
But he's got
game,
but he's got Justin Jefferson.
yes. And Jordan Addison,
Yeah.
and they got somebody else too as another wide receiver. So minus the primetime fiasco, Kirk Cousins is actually a pretty decent quarterback.
Yeah. Well, he gets his first primetime whooping in week 2.
Yes. Well, he'll be on
Thursday
my bench. He should be on my
Thursday
bench
night
still.
versus Philadelphia Eagles.
I mean, you could make a case for Kenny Pickett. Deshaun Watson, I had no faith in him. I mean, I could have gone with
Yeah.
like C.J. Stroud or something. If I absolutely wanted to make a bold move at quarterback.
Yep.
But I figured Kirk Cousins was a safe bet.
Yeah.
Unlike previous years, when I make drafts, I draft a backup quarterback when my so I have one from when my quarterback's on a bye week. I look
Yeah.
for the easiest matchup.
Yeah.
This time I didn't do it because we were doing a lot of other things on the show.
Right.
Round 13, another flyer from Jacksonville, who I absolutely love, Zay Jones.
Yeah.
Actually had 10 receiving touchdowns last year.
Mm-hmm.
So he could be a wind up being a sleeper pick.
That's true.
Round 14, I took a backup good goal line running back in Jamal Williams, who will be starting for New Orleans for 3 games because Alvin Kamara is suspended.
Right.
So he is the leading back going to the start of the season.
Okay.
And then last pick, I just had to be funny. I wanted Jahad Dotson. I did not know my friend Vinny took Dotson in round 6. That was my sleeper pick of all sleeper picks. I was going to rub it in everyone's face about the Penn State. Then I realized I couldn't. So I was like, Odell Beckham Jr. again is one of those players who is on a prove me deal.
Right.
He's trying to prove that he can still play. So he goes down to a team in Baltimore that has some depth at wide receiver, but not a lot. And
Yeah.
say they lose Lamar Jackson, what's a young quarterback want? A well-established veteran wide receiver. Enter Odell Beckham Jr.
That's a good point.
So, all in all, I missed a couple picks I wanted, but I feel like I did pretty good.
I think you did pretty good.
Now, going back up is to the top. I mean, I can probably sort this by team. Yeah, I could. What team would you, other than yourself, would you say, like if you take the draft grades out and all that, would you say had the best draft?
Well, I think the draft grades are pretty accurate as far as our friend in Wisconsin and Mr. Vinny. I think both had real good drafts. So
All
I
right, well,
I did like both of their drafts,
all right,
and,
well,
and I especially paid attention to Vinny's because obviously I've kind of thrown down a gauntlet, so to speak. So um, I am excited to track our progress head to head every week, and I think it's going to be a great year, and I think it's anybody's race. I you know a lot of times the team that you really don't expect, you know, uh, makes the right decisions. Has some people who outperform their draft positions. So I mean, the fun about this is it's not an exact science. It's anything goes. So you get, I mean, for example, last year I had Geno Smith.
mm-hmm.
I picked him up in week 2. And I had no idea he was going to have the kind of season he had. But I rode him all the way to the playoffs
Okay.
because he just was an unexpected surprise. And I'm sure that if you look at every draft on here, every team's going to have that one guy where they said, "Oh yeah, well, I took a chance on this guy. I wasn't really sure what to expect." And he ends up, leading your team in scoring. It can happen.
That is very true.
That's part of the fun of fantasy.
Yeah. I just got to make a quick comment about Vinny's team that I just realized.
Okay.
Okay. So I don't know if he's watching. Probably not tonight. I sent him a message, but I don't think he's watching. There's something I just realized. Okay. Round 2 pick. Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
New York Giants running back.
Mm-hmm.
Round 3. Tony Pollard. Dallas running back.
Mm-hmm.
Now jump all the way down to round 13. Antonio Gibson. Washington running back. Vinny, if you go back and watch this show, you're going to take every other team's running back in our division, but not a Philly running back? What the hell are you thinking? I just realized that. I'm sitting here looking at this list. What was the Raven? One? I think he really took every other team in our division's running back, but no Philly running back.
Yeah.
That's just, it's mind blowing.
Yeah. I mean, he's got Stephon Diggs, which is a great pick. Barkley is a top 10 guy. Pollard's a top 10 running back. So I mean, in rounds 2 and 3, he got great value. Mark Andrews is one of the top tight ends. I absolutely love Christian Watson in Green Bay. I think Jordan Love looked great in the preseason, and I think that Christian Watson is going to have the kind of year that he had for half the year last year before he got hurt, and then fell out of favor with Mr. Rogers. He stashed away Kamara. He's got San Francisco's defense. Yeah, I mean, he's got a nice solid team. He's got Dak as a backup.
I like Michael Thomas too. I think he had
Michael Thomas. That was the only one I was kind of iffy on because now that could pan out. I mean, he's well rested, but he hasn't played a lot in the last couple of years. I'll be curious to see how he does. But he's not a bad pick. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, as a flex, I think he could be a good flex option.
Yeah.
But as I want as my sweep, Dotson, son of a bitch.
Yeah. So yes, I think that Vinny's got a great team.
Vinny is our defending champ in this league, so
I know.
mind you though, last year was only 6 teams, not 10. Whole different ballgame. No,
Vinny,
we're gonna go back up real quick.
Vinny. If you come
Cheese
back and watch it, Vinny, you see it, man. You see it. I wasn't playing. I was not playing. I told you I wasn't playing, and I wasn't playing. We're going head to head all the way to the chip.
He's calling you out, Vince. So if you need me to put him back in the nursing home, let me know. But so now I'm back up to the top. We have Cheesin in Wisconsin, which is Mr. Joe's team. Another one who received an A plus.
CMC, you got McCaffrey, you got Josh Allen. Great pick there. Jonathan Taylor, wherever he lands. I think Calvin Ridley's a great pick. I think he's going to have a great year coming back to Jacksonville with Trevor Lawrence. Keenan Allen. Breece Hall, we'll see. See how much Dalvin Cook cuts into his time, but I think Breece Hall still got an opportunity to get a lot of goal line opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, my biggest thing with these 4 picks specifically, right here, rounds 4 through 7, Ridley, Allen, Bryce Hall, and Godwin, were all really good. And Ridley stay out of trouble for one. Okay. And then can Keenan Allen, Bryce Hall, and Godwin stay healthy?
Yeah.
I mean, because Keenan Allen missed a couple games last year. Bryce Hall's coming off the knee injury.
And how good is Baker Mayfield still?
Yes, that is another good point. So, I mean, rounds 4 through 7, I was a little skeptical of that. Good value, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But my question is, can they stay healthy? Okay. I love Buffalo's defense. Ed Oliver is going to be a beast up there this year. He's a third-year pro out of Houston.
For a guy in Wisconsin, he loaded up on them Buffalo Bills, man.
Yeah. I think he realized that in our group chat last night.
Yeah.
And he's like, damn, he said it on the show, too. He's like, I'm going to be screwed. I forget what week they have the bye week, but he's like, I'm screwed.
Yeah.
Javonte Williams coming back off an ACL injury, so you guys see how he does.
Yeah.
Nico Collins is a great pick for Houston.
Mm-hmm.
This is the one that his sleeper pick, Joe, if you're watching the show, your sleeper pick, Tyler Conklin. What the hell are you taking as your starting tight end? I mean, Joe, you do you. That's all I'll say. David Njoku, he's been ranked so high so many years, but hasn't lived up to that top 10 height that he was built up to be. I know he's from you. And then everybody who knows Joe, a group chat and everything, he is obsessed with Jordan Love.
I think Jordan Love's going to have a great year. I mean, I honestly, he's going to look at the points that Jordan Love's putting up. I mean, I don't think he's going to put up Josh. The thing is with Josh Allen, though, and I had Josh Allen in another league for a couple of years, and Josh Allen can have 3 games that are like off the charts, and then he'll have a game where he barely scores. So, I mean, he had some injury concerns last year, and I think that hindered him a little bit, but I think that Jordan Love is somebody to watch this year.
Well, make or break you, I should say, for him, because he's going into a 4th year of his rookie contract.
Yeah. Well, I got a feeling if he does anything at all this year, that they got to re-sign him.
If not, a Penn State guy's taking his job. Let's go, Sean Clifford. Just kidding.
We are 4-7.
October 14th. I'll be there.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, I'm crossing one off my bucket list.
Yep.
All right, we're gonna stay on the top row right now. Let's talk about Mr. Doughboy.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, consensus number one. He did the right thing. Justin Jefferson, across the board,
Absolutely.
PPR league. Mike, you're a genius for that one.
Yeah.
If you messed that one up, I would have given you a bunch of shit. Nick Chubb, another decent pick with the second round pick.
Yeah.
Jalen Waddle in Miami, good
Mm-hmm.
complimentary to Tyreek Hill. Has his own 200-yard games once in a while too, so
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
True.
Aaron Rodgers with the Jets, though, I think that team is so overhyped.
Yeah, but I mean, they've got a lot of weapons. They had a nice young offensive team last year, and I mean, they they showed flashes. And you put a guy like Aaron Rodgers in that mix, and it could go either way. I mean, honestly, you know they could be very very good this year. They could also, you know, Aaron Rodgers falls back into his normal behaviors. There could be problems, especially with a young team.
Yeah. Then he takes Najee Harris. I like that pick as a good second running back.
Yep.
I mean, a good bruising running back, hard runner, good by the
Yeah.
end by the goal line.
Yeah.
He jumped on the Kyle Pitts train, who
Yeah.
every year is hyped up year after year.
One of these years, it's got to be the year he hits, though.
Yeah, could be this year with Desmond Ritter as their quarterback.
You
Because they
never
got,
know.
if not, they got Tyler Heineke waiting in the wings.
Yep.
Brandon Ayuk from San Fran, which I don't know if he was taken by this point. If he wasn't, that might be a bit of a stretch. But Ayuk did turn it on late last season.
Yeah.
So then you have Mr. UCL,
Mm-hmm.
as I call him, Brock Purdy. So two
Yeah.
quarterbacks in the first 8 rounds, kind of head scratcher. Deontay Johnson, love that pick actually.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Uh,
Pickett showed some real nice progress towards the end of the year. So that could end up being a really good pick.
then you took Mr. Jake Elliott in the 10th round,
Yep.
which could be good. Dalvin Cook as a backup or flex. Rock that.
Yeah,
The
and
Jet,
I mean it could be at some point that Dalvin Cook, supplants Nick Chubb in that starting role.
true. Definitely. The Jets defense, which they have spent a lot of money on.
Yeah,
Jerry Judy, who's number 2 in Denver, but a good pick.
and a lot of health concerns with him too.
Yep. Jared Everett, the tight end from the Chargers, like that pick.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rookie from Ohio State, Jason Smith, the Jagba. I think that
The
is right.
Jigma, yeah, that's a sneaky good pick there at the bottom. That
Eh,
was
good pick.
that was a real good pick, just for upside, upside potential. I think that either one of those guys goes down in Seattle, Lockett or Metcalf, and you got Najigma's having a big year, and he's even with them staying healthy, he's still going to get his share of targets being drafted as high as he was.
Man, I mean, let's see. He is a big physical receiver. I will say that.
Yep, he's the kind of guy. He's built a little bit like your classic, um, big receivers, the 50-50 guys,
Yeah,
you know.
for sure.
So that's an attribute that a lot of GMs look for in a wide receiver.
True. All right, so who do we do next? Do we do Jason, Chris, or Sam?
Let's do Jason.
All right. Jason had the fourth overall pick and took Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the best quarterbacks. I will say that. But was that early?
No, it wasn't early at all. Um, some, different people have different kind of draft strategies, and there's only, two or three quarterbacks that would have warranted that high of a pick, and Mahomes would be one. So
Okay.
I really didn't have an issue with that.
Then he went on a wide receiver spree.
Yeah,
St. Brown from Detroit, Devontae Smith from Philly, and Debo Samuel from San
I like
Francisco.
two of those three a lot. I don't know about Debo Samuel,
Health
honestly.
concern.
If you gave me those three names and said, which one of the rank them in order, I would rank them exactly how they're listed. I put St. Brown first and Devontae second. And the only reason Devontae's second is because of AJ Brown.
Mm-hmm.
If he was the undisputed number one, then he would definitely be probably the top of the list.
See what's nice
But
about Sam. Go ahead. Sorry.
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say the thing with Samuel, if he can stay healthy, he gives you receiving yards, but he's also one of those players that can run a lot of jet sweeps, so you can get rushing yards out of him too.
Yeah, but I believe that he's in a contract year,
I think so.
and if he's in a contract year, he's already expressed concerns about being used in that role because the amount of beating his body takes. And when you know that you got to stay healthy this year in order to land that next big contract, I think he becomes increasingly reluctant to take that kind of punishment on a week to week.
All right. His two running backs were J.K. Dobbins and Isaiah Pacheco.
Yeah,
I mean,
I could go with that.
and Ohio State and Rutgers running back, Big Ten.
Yeah,
Phillies defense in the seventh round, which
yeah,
that could be one of the best defenses in the league this year.
yep.
Easily.
Top three.
The new starting running back in Minnesota, Madison, which is eighth pick. I like he's gonna be the number one back now that Dalvin Cook's gone.
True.
Tyler Bass from Buffalo. Kicker does kicker things.
Yeah, kicker.
Anthony Richardson as his backup quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Remains to be seen. That I want to see what he does. What I've seen of him so far hasn't been overly impressive, but some guys are just gamers. They just play. They don't play good practice. They don't play good in the preseason, and then they ball out when the season starts. So I'm willing to wait and see on him because he's got the physical skills. I just think that I need to see if the team rallies around him and develops the way that they expect him to develop. And a big part of it depends on if Taylor's gone or not. I mean, if you take that component out of the offense and there's no running threat, now all of a sudden these defenses are pinning their ears back and he's running for his life because their offensive line is not a great offensive line by any stretch of the imagination. But they weren't expecting, Taylor to ask out when they were drafting the team.
No, you're absolutely right. Jordan Addison, the wide receiver from Minnesota, who's going to be starting on the other side of Jefferson.
Yeah, he's definitely got some upside. Yeah.
Juwan Johnson. I think he came on late last year, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, I'm not really that familiar with him.
All right, and you have Isaiah Hodges from New York. Don't know who that is. Miami's defensive back at Philly. Could be another top 5 defense right there.
Yeah.
And then Dawson Knox, you can't go wrong with that one either.
Yep.
So I mean,
I don't really think it was bad. bad draft. You got a couple of you know, couple of spots that could go, have a high ceiling, but also has a little bit of a floor. So
Yeah. I mean, other than the three running backs, he's kind of weak at running back. I mean,
yeah,
I would have shopped for another running back, honestly.
yeah, yeah.
But
I
like
agree.
you said, everyone have a different strategy. So,
Yep, yep. Some people put more stock in other positions.
yeah. All right. Born to run, he made his team game there. Okay. So Chris
Okay.
started the draft with Austin Eckler, top five running back, easy
Yep,
pick.
good pick.
Joe Mixon,
Excellent pick.
all right. T. Higgins, the
Yeah,
third
he's
round pick.
solid at running back. That's for sure.
Yeah. T. Higgins in the third round. I thought might have been a little bit of a reach.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Um, Gibbs, the rookie out from Alabama with
Uh,
Detroit.
and Gibbs, I think, is going to have a great year. So, I mean, taking 3 running backs in the first 4 rounds might, but like I said, different people have different draft strategies. I mean, some people put a high value on the running back position. Um, I think Gibbs is going to have an outstanding year. I mean, if I'm a team like this and I get off to a slow start, then I maybe look to make a trade because you got 3 top line running backs. You might be able to turn that into, help in another position where you may be a little weaker.
True. Dallas Goddard as a starting tight end.
Good, good pick there.
Justin Fields, as he said, I took flyer on Fields.
Lots of potential.
Has to stay healthy.
Yeah, and part of that is his offensive line doing their job.
Yeah,
But I mean, he's also got DJ Moore now, which should definitely help his production.
that is true. Christian Cook, who is in the second year of a contract with Jacksonville and showed that
Yep.
he's worth the money.
Right now, Ridley's gonna eat some of his touches, but I think he's still very serviceable at that spot.
All right, and Juju with the Patriots now.
Yeah, and I was never a Juju guy, but I mean that's not to say he doesn't have a successful year. I mean, but the only thing with New England is that Belichick is just so quirky when it comes to wide receivers and running backs for that matter. I
Yeah,
mean, Stevenson has been the first running back in a long time that actually got, you know, semi regular carries.
yeah,
I
it was
mean,
nice. I
they
commend him.
always had this mishmash of running backs that they would shuffle in and out of there. And, but now he's kind of doing it at wide receiver, where he's trotting wide receivers through there left and right.
Yeah,
And, Juju, little bit of an injury risk, maybe. He has had a little bit of a history with injuries, but, he does have a potential for an upside.
true. I love the Michael Pittman Jr. pick. The
Yeah.
man, the kid is good. He had
Yeah.
90 something catches last year and had a great year. And with a young quarterback, might have just about the same because a young quarterback always looks for who he knows he can trust. And on Thursday night when they were playing Philly, Pittman Jr. had, I want to say, like 8 or 9 targets that game.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, the kid usually catches
Well,
everything.
the other thing you look at too is when you're looking at a rookie quarterback coming in or a second year quarterback is when these guys are getting reps in practice, think about who they're throwing to every week in practice.
Huh?
And then when they get elevated as a starter and that person's on the field, there's a built-in comfort level because I've been thrown to this guy all last year in practice with the second string, and now all of a sudden we're both on the main. We're both starting. Then
Mm-hmm.
when I'm looking around, who am I looking for? I'm
Yeah,
looking for my guy.
excellent point. After Pittman, Derek Carter as his backup, who could
Yep.
have a good year in New Orleans?
I think he's going to have a good year in New Orleans. I think New
Yeah,
Orleans has potential with Olave and
Landry's
and
still down
Derek
there.
Carr. You got some weapons there.
Oh, absolutely. Um, the Patriots defense, Belichick always does something with that defense. So
Yeah, yeah, they're always respectable.
he drafted Devin Singletary, but he's already dropped him and picked up Rashard Penny.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean that's kind of a wash no matter what we look at it.
Yeah, Penny could get some goal line carries just because of his size in those situations where they don't want to sneak Jalen. Like maybe they're on the 3 or something, and
Yeah.
they need to push it in. Penny's that's where you might see Penny.
All right. Brett Maher as his kicker. Granted,
Mm-hmm.
he's kicking in Denver,
Yeah,
not Dallas this year, but
and the high altitude ball carries further.
I don't know if I can trust him.
Well, I mean, you're coming off of McManus, who was pretty much an automatic, and he had a lot of success there.
True.
I think anybody that goes there is going to be held to a very high standard. If he gets off to a bad start, wouldn't be surprised to see him.
Huh? Jackie's in chat. I'm a Dallas fan. We just got Trey Lance. Maybe he will bring us to Super Bowl. Oh, great. Here we go. Another Dallas fan. What they always say.
It's our
Our
year.
year.
It's our year.
Oh, man.
Well, I think that I heard an interview with Dak after they broke the story. And Dak does not sound happy. Dak knows that the writing's on the wall, that he's got to produce, or he's after this season, if Dallas is unsuccessful, I think that McCarthy goes, and I think Dak's worried that he might be going too.
True.
He did lead the league in interceptions last year, and he missed 4 games.
Huh? Now, can I ask you a question about Dallas real quick?
Yeah.
Most teams, they watch film studies, okay?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of teams have engraved like better technology. Does Dallas still have VHS tapes?
Now you got you have somebody new in the chat, and you're beating down their team already, man. Come on, we got to stay positive. It's preseason still, technically.
I wanted to say that to Sam last night.
Stay
So
positive.
bad. Yeah, but I wanted to say that to Sam so bad last night.
I know, but
Now, I got pick. I know Jackie. I can pick on Jack.
Okay. Well, I mean, honestly, all kidding aside,
we see tell him.
I think that Dallas, on paper, is probably one of the top teams in the conference. On paper.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the only problem is that historically speaking, they get out of the gate fast. They play their best ball in September and October. And then when November and December roll around, they kind of slide a little bit. So, I mean, they have had a lot of turmoil this offseason and through training camp, with, Parsons hitting Dak in practice, and, and all these other things that went on in the training camp with fights and holdouts and trade requests, and then this Trey Lance thing. That's created a lot of distractions in Dallas. Okay. However, that being said, I think that you still have to respect them. They have had our number somewhat recently. However, I think that this year, we definitely take that back, and I think that we, at worst case scenario, we split, and best case scenario, I think that with the quality of team that we have the potential of being able to take them down twice. But we'll see. But it's always a good game against them.
I mean, we almost beat them in Dallas with Gardner Minshew. I mean,
that's true.
When we played them in Philly, they had Cooper Rush, so it's kind of like the script was flipped. If you
yeah, exactly. Both games were the backups. So this year, hopefully we both have our starters at that point, and we'll let it fly and see what happens. One of them is a Monday night game.
Sunday night.
A Sunday night, yeah. I thought it was Monday night. Sorry.
Okay. So after Maher, he took Adam Cleveland, which he wound up dropping, and picked up Quentin Johnston, the rookie wide receiver from TCU that is on the Chargers this year. Wow. Now she's roasting me.
Yeah.
Well,
that's okay. It's always good to have a Dallas fan that doesn't talk about jewelry. We'll respect that.
Hey, I always respect all team fan bases. If you show me respect, you get respect back.
Fair enough.
So, I mean, Quentin Johnston, I mean, he's going to be a slot receiver this year for the Chargers. It'll be hit or miss. So, I mean, because he drafted Cleveland, like I said, but dropped him already. And then his last pick was Tyler Higbee from the Rams. Which, what quarterbacks are going to be do? Is it going to be Stafford all year? Stetson Bennett going to play at all? So,
well, if Stafford stays healthy, it's going to be Stafford all year.
True. All right, it's up to you if you want to keep going or not. Let me know.
Nah, I mean, we're coming up on 2 hours, so unless somebody from the league is here and in the chat and they wanted us to go through their team. I don't know who's in the chat right now, so.
No, I don't think so. I think it's just
okay.
Jack hanging out. All I'm going to say about Sam's team is he got Dicker the kicker.
Yeah, he did. I think, I think Sam's draft was pretty good.
I mean, all we can say is the thing will tell. So,
yeah,
I think this only shows my team. It says my best draft pick was James Conner.
Mm-hmm.
And my worst was Geno Smith.
And I disagree with that. I think Geno Smith is a good pick.
So, I mean, kudos to Yahoo. I don't know who the hell makes all this up, but kudos to you. You figure there's 10 teams in this league, so they got to do this for every single team.
Yeah.
So whoever comes up with does this stuff behind the scenes, hats off to you. Whenever chat GPT generated it. If you're a bot or a real person on Yahoo, I'll tell you.
If you're a bot, then bebop, boop, bop, bop, bebop.
Oh, here we go. All right, let me close that out. Ay.
1000010100.
Why are you giving my social? Why are you giving my social number? Yeah. Why are you giving my social security number out on the show like that?
There you go.
I'm not a robot. Yeah. But no, I mean, fun show tonight. Got to talk a couple different sports, actually, more than we normally do.
Yeah.
I even got you to watch
Even got a NASCAR video. Yeah. How about that?
I mean, if you missed the beginning of the show, we did pay respects to Terry Funk and Bray Wyatt with a little something in our intro. The dinging noise is supposed to represent a wrestling bell. I couldn't find a legit wrestling bell, so I thought that was the next closest thing.
Yeah, I
So
got it. It works.
thoughts and prayers out to everyone involved with that. That is just absolutely tragic,
Yeah,
especially what I heard about Bray Wyatt today,
yeah.
because they have more details that came out. By the way, the show is awesome. Love it. Keep it going. All of you are great. That means a lot, Jackie. We appreciate
Thank you,
that.
Jackie. We appreciate that.
But yeah, I mean, the story I read, I don't know if you heard about it or not.
Yeah.
Bray was at home taking an afternoon nap because he had done a workout in the morning. Went home, took his afternoon nap,
Mm-hmm.
and never woke up.
Oh, wow.
Had a heart attack in his sleep.
Yep.
Great show, boys. Just like no more. This is why people come back. Hey, we try.
Thanks, Curtis. We
We want
appreciate
you
that, man.
all to come back. We're all one big happy family. As Kevin
Yeah.
Peake came out with, we are basement dwellers.
Yes, indeed.
Well, Von hangs out in the dining room, but we'll let him fly.
Yeah.
But Kevin
I don't have a
basement
basement. Me and the Alamo, 2 people with no basement.
I'm in a basement.
No, the Alamo from Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Oh,
His bike was hidden in the basement. There's no basement in the Alamo.
Ay. What am I gonna do with you?
Oh, God. Nobody knows. If you find out the answer, you better let somebody else know.
Well,
The
we'll
voice,
see how your team.
the voice from the other room would like to know that.
Well, we'll start the season. We'll see how you play out. If I gotta put you back in the home, I'll explain to the voice why. I'm sure she'll understand. We just do it because we love you.
Hey, like I said, the drafts things are usually always wrong, but I'd be perfectly happy if it's right for mine and I can, end up somewhere near the top. That's all I'll say.
If you go 15-0, I'm out next year. Just saying that right now.
Vinny, buddy, what's up?
Yeah, I'll make sure I tell him to go back when we watch this. But we actually still have one more show before the season does kick off. So.
It's on, baby. It's on. It's on like Donkey Kong.
Come on, baby, on the treetop. If the king shall fall, then run up on the top. But I appreciate everyone stopping in tonight. I know not everybody likes to talk sports, but we appreciate everyone who did pop in tonight. I mean, it's just us bullshit and having fun, and that's what we do on Monday night. We talk sports, bullshit. If there's any sports that you ever want to talk about or certain teams, please give us ideas. Like I always say this, go ahead.
Always open to whatever the chat wants to talk about. So, no questions, bad question. You want fantasy questions, you want any sport that you're following at the time, except for, I'm not going to know much about the Union
or
NASCAR or hockey. But hey, poke the bear about baseball, football, or basketball, and I guarantee you'll get a growl of some kind.
Yeah, you never know. I mean.
And we didn't talk any wrestling. We didn't talk any wrestling tonight, other than acknowledging Bray and Terry Funk.
Yeah, I mean, we always bring that up when we. I mean, once football season gets going, though, football takes a lot of the show.
Yeah,
because we like to go in depth with a lot of the games. You have a certain team that you like to root for. I know Jackie's a Dallas fan, Sam's a Dallas fan, Curtis is a Dolphins fan. So just like keep spreading the word.
We got Denver fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got fans from a whole bunch of different teams, so it should be fun to talk about through the course of the season.
That is true.
And not to mention, we're going to do regular gatherings, let's say, of of some of the fantasy football league to have them pop in for updates on the season as we go.
True.
Because the Basement Show League is a highly competitive
And a big trooper league too.
yapper league.
Yep. Yahoo
Yeah.
and Yapper.
Yep.
Yapper and Yahoo. There you go.
There you go.
But we also are thinking about coming up with a round the horn segment too.
Yeah.
We had talked about that last night too. And that actually maybe bringing a game into the sports night. So who knows? There's a lot of opportunities, a lot of growth still to come. But Bond always says the same thing. I'm going to preach it tonight. Without you in chat, we have no show. So we need you guys to keep coming back, chatting up with us, sharing the stream out, liking it, following it, spreading the word. We're on YouTube. The show is growing. Almost to the point I can't hold it anymore. But I still got a grip on it. I want more. We want more.
Yes.
Help us.
Absolutely.
So
we appreciate you all, and we do it all for you. So as long as you keep on coming back, we're here.
Absolutely. We had Curtis in chat tonight. Jackie stopped by. Chris was in and out. Joe was in and out talking his smack. We had a pop in from Shannon, which was nice to see. Amber stopped in, asking what the difference is. What's better, a dirty Sanchez or a good Sanchez? I gotta look that one up. I will have an answer for that.
Yeah, you don't want to look it up.
Miz popped in for a couple minutes on YouTube, and Curtis again. So, quiet night. A lot of people just listening to me on talk about a bunch of different stuff. But don't be afraid. If you're listening and there's something you want to say, even if it's on topic, if you just want to say, hey, I'm just looking in the shadows, wanted to say hi, please do. We try to acknowledge everybody who comes in the chat. We're friendly. We promise we don't bite. Fine, behave yourself.
Well, yeah.
But no, we just want people to be involved. So if there's something we need to change, there's a certain team, something you want to talk about, we're all pretty knowledgeable when it comes to sports. Give us ideas. That's all I'll say.
Yep. Absolutely. So don't forget, tomorrow night is entertainment night with Morgan.
As of now.
Okay. Well, why don't you run it down, because you probably have more information than I do.
All right. As of now, entertainment night is still on, and it won't be Morgan and Shannon. Boo-hoo. Just kidding. I love you both. Morgan's going to the Phillies game. So if there is a show, I will be jumping on with Shannon. But like I said, it's up in the air right now because a certain Luna puppy has a big doctor's appointment tomorrow. Hope that goes well. So Shannon said she'll let me know how it goes in the morning. And we'll plan out the show. If it goes live or not, it'll be at 9 o'clock. Wednesday night, we have TNT with myself and a new host that you have to tune in to find out who. Because Mr. Ron's taking a couple weeks off to go knock down some pins, which is understandable. We all have obligations off the show that we have to fulfill. Thursday night, the Grimm is back for Rev Grimm Show. 18 plus only. Put the kids to bed, come hang out with the Rev. And he's getting ready to turn a notch. I'll put it to you that way. I talked to him a little bit Saturday night, and he's getting ready to amp things up. So Thursday night, if you like cool humor, come hang out with the Rev. You might see some marshmallows on that show too.
Oh, jeez.
And then Friday night is our longest running show on the Basement Show, and that is Friday Night Movie Night. And with what I did last week, I might have found a loophole so we can start having some more fun on Friday nights. If that's the case, Friday nights just got a bit interesting. Just saying. And it could be a lot more fun. But as always, thank you for your support. Thank you for stopping by the show tonight. We had 6 reactions, which is awesome. Not everyone said hello. They just dropped likes. They look. Like I said, don't be afraid to just say hi. If you just want to come in and say, hey, I'm dropping a like, can't stay, you're still showing support, and it's greatly appreciated.
Absolutely.
So, as of now, just check tomorrow. I'll know probably around noon if we're doing entertainment night or not. If not, tune in Wednesday for a brand new host of TNT. Same site, same trivia, just a different person involved. But this person's good. You think Ron's good? Come hang out with us on Wednesday night to find out who we got now. Could they be better than Ron? That's the question. But other than that, hope everyone has a good night, a safe night, and a good Tuesday. Have a
Wiki
good night.
Good night, everybody.